Australian Open Golf: what's happening, why it matters, and why many in the golf world are watching closely. What is the Australian Open and what's changed this year? The Australian Open is one of the oldest and most prestigious national golf tournaments in the world, first run over a century ago. Historically, it has been won by legendary golfers, a roster that includes names such as Greg Norman, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, and others. In recent years, since 2022, the tournament experimented with a mixed format, men's, women's, and all abilities events combined. But for 2025, the organizers, Golf Australia, scrapped that format and returned to the classic, men-only, standalone format. That also means the tournament regained its pure status, no more sharing the spotlight with a concurrent women's event. Players and many in the golf community believe this reclaiming of tradition restores the tournament's prestige. Venue highlight: why the location matters. Royal Melbourne Golf Club. This year's Australian Open is being held at Royal Melbourne, marking the first time the Open has returned to this iconic club since 1991. The tournament will use the composite course, a combination of both the club's east and west courses, widely considered among the best golf courses in the world. Many golfers and observers describe Royal Melbourne's sandbelt design, tricky greens, and strategic holes as among the toughest and most respect-earning in global golf. For local Australian players, familiarity with Royal Melbourne's challenging layout can offer an advantage. Because of all this, the 2025 Open isn't just another tournament, it's more like a return to golf's roots and traditions, on sacred ground for the sport. Big names: why this year is special. Leading the field is Rory McIlroy, one of the biggest global stars in golf and a 5-time major champion. McIlroy previously won the Australian Open in 2013, beating Adam Scott in a playoff, and has said he's thrilled to return, especially with the tournament restored to its traditional format. Golf watchers know this. When McIlroy plays, attention soars. His involvement already triggered high-ticket demand and increased global interest, something organizers had hoped for. On top of McIlroy, several top Australian players are targeting a home turf title. Names such as Adam Scott, Cameron Smith, Min Woo Lee, and rising talent Carl Phillips are all part of the field. On the international side, former major champions and global competitors like Joaquin Niemann and Danny Willett add depth to the lineup. So between big-name stars and rising local heroes, the competition promises to be fierce and widely followed. What players are saying: excitement, expectations, and respect. Many players, especially local Aussies, feel the tournament has regained its status. They believe that scrapping the mixed format was the right move to restore tradition and competitiveness. For instance, Cameron Smith said, "Everyone's talking about the Aussie Open again, we wanted it back at Royal Melbourne." Adam Scott echoed similar sentiments. Winning the Open at Royal Melbourne would carry extra pride, because of the course's history and the weight the Open once held globally. Meanwhile, McIlroy emphasized that Australia deserves regular high-level golf competition. He believes the revived Australian Open, with its traditional format and top field, can help satisfy that. What to look for: the tournament timeline and what's at stake. The 2025 Australian Open begins this week at Royal Melbourne. First rounds tee off early because of the high-profile players, with marquee groups including McIlroy, Scott and Min Woo Lee. The winner takes home the historic trophy, the Stonehaven Cup, an achievement that brings legacy, respect, and a boost to world rankings. Given the strength of the field and the prestige of Royal Melbourne, many consider this year's Open to be one of the most competitive and meaningful in recent history. Why this matters for golf fans and beyond. For golf fans worldwide, the return of the Australian Open to tradition and to a top-tier venue signals respect for the sport's roots. It's a reminder that heritage and history still matter. For players, especially Australians and Asia-Pacific golfers, it offers a chance to shine on a global stage, boost rankings, and claim a historic title on home soil. For the sport's popularity, having mega stars like McIlroy back in a revived Open could reignite interest particularly in Australia, but also globally. It might inspire more people to follow golf, travel to tournaments, or even take up the sport. And finally, the prestige attached to winning at Royal Melbourne, under classic conditions where the course itself tests every shot, adds a layer of challenge and honor that modern, easy setup tournaments can't replicate. What's the big news? The 2025 Australian Open Golf is back in its classic form, at a legendary venue, with a star-studded field. With the return to tradition and the presence of global icons such as McIlroy, this edition promises to restore the Open's reputation as one of the sport's truly great tournaments. For players, fans, and golf's future, this could be a defining moment.